Good morning, folks. Hey, this is Jeff Fisk from Bestial Creations. I just on my heart this morning. I don't know. This wasn't prepared at all. Just sitting here. I got a chance. Last few days, some events. My dad passing away, and the best place for me to do is get away and do a little hunting. I guess I don't know about hunting, but enjoying the outdoors. That's what my dad loved to do. He's a hard-working man. Spent his whole life pretty well working outside. Loved the outdoors. Farmed. Taught me a lot of good memories hunting, and never failed every day. We talked about, during season, he wanted to report every night of what happened for the day, and just a big part of my life. I've been hunting 35 years, and so anyway, I may ramble on, jump around, I don't know, just bear with me if you would. Listen to this video. I think there's a lot I'm going to offer something, I don't know. I'm going to give you a rundown, so if you're interested in following up and listening to the rest of it, because it may be a little long, but it's what it's going to be. First and foremost, God, I'm going to talk about in a minute. Talk about my dad, my mom, life, 2020. And then, just over watching some forums and stuff lately, I'm going to talk about custom gun building. What comes with it, and maybe, I guess as a younger man, I was really quick to have an opinion. As I'm getting older and maturing, I'm learning that my opinion is not that important anymore, and a lot of people don't want to hear it. You get on public forums and everybody's got an opinion, but they don't have no backdrop of what they're talking about or what the person they're dealing with is going through personally. We all have a life and go through stuff personally, and we're always not just that chipper dude that makes you feel warm and cozy. So I'm going to flip the camera, and I'm not a video person, so bear with me, but I'm going to flip the camera and give you a little view of something really, really special to me, really special to my dad, and so hold on a second if I can figure out how to do this. Well, I don't think it'll let me do it. So, this may be a train wreck, but we're going to give it a shot. I can't flip my phone view the other way, so we're going to just winging around here. As you can see, I'm in a little shack. Folks, this is actually right underneath the deck of my house. Been truly blessed with where I ended up in life. Don't deserve it, but I figured God, I guess he had a plan somewhere, so it's coming together. If you look out across there, this is the bottom. Many of you seen this little weapon here I put together. This was put together specifically for a purpose. That cut through the woods there just happened in October. There was a plan for that. Open bean field that's been harvested. The far side of that bean field, I think about 560 yards. Anything in that green strip's under 300. This area's been pretty incredible, but let me wing you back around here and get set. So let me start off by saying, first and foremost, guys, without God, I'd be in trouble. I don't know if trouble is a good word. I'd probably be dead, and many of you can agree with that and understand what I'm talking about. I'm going to continue looking around and watching for deer, obviously, and this could stop the hunt or video real quick if I see the right deer come through. It's windy, warming up, anyway. But without God, folks, I would be nothing, and I am nothing. 2020 for many of us has been tough. Let's just say that simply. With the coronavirus, just a lot of things on a personal level. Went through one of the worst experiences, one of the worst things in my life early this year, January, February. Um, Suffered a loss, just heartbreaking, and I'm just going to leave that at that. Um, but with God and my church family, my family, people around me, many of you in the smokeless muzzleloader world, inline world, muzzleloaders in general, gun people, man, have been super, super loving and supporting. In that, I mean, I can tell you I have been nothing but blessed in many ways when I decided to build a few custom guns, and the people I've met across the across the world, it's been neat. Something never dreamed of. And then with Wednesday, the passing of my father, there's always concern of loved one's salvation and those things, and I can say today I have a great comfort where my father is. He lived 84 years on this earth, which is a long, healthy life, but the reality of that's a blink in the eye of eternity and where we're going to end up. So just do with that, take that, take that where you want it, but look out for your loved ones and the people you really care about. So in saying that, give you guys a quick rundown. My dad started feeling sick, pretty quick progress. He's the toughest bird I know, hard-working man's man. He didn't pull no punches. He said what he felt. He was hard. I'll just say he was a tough dude. We worked hard. He worked hard his whole life, hardest working man I've ever known. Still was going 100 mile an hour at 84 years old. Had a little heart ding a few years back, got through that good. When I heard he went to the hospital and was feeling sick, and then they run him to the emergency room, or took him to Christ Hospital, I figured he'd kick the wheels off of Corona and come back home with no issues. And process of going in the hospital on the 7th, and then it literally took him out by the 18th. Terrible. That's all I can say. And I'm going to try to walk through that with terrible. So November 18th, 2020, my dad passed away. Through that, my mom was very sick with the virus too, but she was home. So she was totally isolated in a house by herself. Couldn't go visit her husband of 59 years. Family couldn't go visit. That's upsetting, but I understand it. So, my hat's off to the healthcare people that have to do this every day. They watch people come in, die, and do it all over again. Tough. So, on top of that, my dad passed on November 18th. My mom's birthday is November 19th. So my mom turned 79, and she gets to spend her birthday at the funeral home making arrangements for my dad with us kids. So life's good for Jeff. Mom's taking it, hard, but she's showing him other things. She's strong. She's got to trust in the Lord, He'll take care of it. So that being said, tough year for a lot of people, when we cry and whine and complain about someone on the road or traffic or a stoplight, or we need to get a reality of what's really, really, really important. So let me jump from there to something I've seen last night on Facebook. Almost wanted to put my 2 cents worth in it, and I thought, I'll just leave that alone. And then I guess right now I just feel like it's something I want to talk about. So, a little backdrop. I'm going to rehash some stuff. A lot of you people know I think I built my first custom muzzleloader in 2014, and the muzzleloader world is gun world is a neat place. Muzzleloaders, I think, is another unique group of people. I'm going to give a shout out to Luke Horick. at Arrowhead Rifle. So some of you know, I got this grand idea, and this all came from, I've already covered this, we got robbed and whole long story of that at the home and lost all my guns and insurance paid, and I was going to build a gun. I'd done some research and run across Luke, and we chatted on the phone. I don't know if you remember this, but this is some of his probably earlier days too, and we chatted on the phone. I got some ideals, some prices. He said, hey, I got, I can say your barrels, whatever. And so in that, I decided, well, I'm just going to get me a little lathe. I knew how to do machine work, so I got a little lathe and bought some parts and put me together a gun. So anyway, long story short, from 2014 to today, been truly, truly blessed. Built a few guns locally, competed locally, loved it. Things grew from that. Well, this is where it gets into the heart of, I think, of the video. It's on my heart. So as that happens, you're only doing a few builds and you got a lot of time and you feel like, over 35 years of tromping around with a muzzleloader and learning the sport and learning smokeless and learning this and just, man, I'm aggressive about educating myself and learning from anybody I can. And I feel like I had some stuff to offer, so you get on this forum and that forum and you start having input and dialogue with people and phone calls, and you can just spend time. You really enjoy it. I may spend 2 hours on the phone with a fella and feel like you really helped them. You give them something. And then you feel like, well, I can make a little video and I can do this and I can help the sport and somebody can learn something from it, and we do that. And I've watched this process up till now. I've watched several up-and-coming builders get into the game, whether they're doing it part-time like me. I work a full-time job, just do it as a hobby in the evening. I mean, it's enjoyable, and you feel like, man, we're usually muzzleloader guys like to help each other, and you feel like you're doing something good. And well, from that, from posts and stuff, people start getting to feel who you are, and then, whether they like you or not, then they start calling, hey, you thinking about building me a gun, and so on and so forth. So I think it was 2016. I think I priced about, 30 guns. I built about 15. I don't know numbers. I'll just throw what come to mind, and I don't have exact. I don't track it. 2017, it probably doubled somewhere in there, and I'm going to say 18. Started noticing, so when you built guns for 3 years for people, and I think it got up to 61 guns in 2018, and I'm going to say I probably quoted 100 and some, well over 100. Well, and then you start putting time with that. A lot of those phone calls where you're quoting guns and going through them, you got an hour or two in them. So I say 100 guns, you got a couple hundred hours in that. You're doing it in evenings, and that eats up time. And then now you may have delivered over the last 3 years 100 guns. So those customers, continue to call and have input and have questions, and you're helping those with that, and it eats up more time. And let's say that may be an hour, so now you got another 100 hours invested in that. We're at 300 hours, let's just say. And you still got your new customers calling and questions and whatnot. And then you get 4 years into builds, and you're dealing with 4 years of clients, and your call load goes up because you're getting good reports or maybe good reviews from people. And it gets to a point, and many of you know my progress, got to a point so I'm doing CVAs, I'm doing night rifles, I'm doing bolt guns, and I'm doing Omegas, and I'm trying to still grow and learn and offer something new, and just something just new, and learn. You're shooting yourself, doing testing, so you end up coming to a point like, I can't keep quoting all these guns and all these different models and still stay on top of my game and be that personal custom builder, personal relationship, top-notch customer service. I just can't physically do it. So, believe me, I don't want a pity party out of this, because it sure ain't that. Just a reality. So, the reality for me was you got a couple options. You cut back a few of the guns you're doing. You just do a very specific thing, maybe get to more of a specialized build. And the reality of that is, it's the reality of anything. To cover your time and cost of doing business, the price goes up. Now, is that fair to the guy that knows his game and all he wants you to do is build him a gun? He'll take care of it from there on? Probably not. But then you got a guy on the other side that absolutely is brand new to muzzleloading, absolutely knows nothing. And the reality is, you may spend 6, 7, 8 hours in the process of getting him a gun built, getting it delivered, getting him shooting, and if he has any issues, and walking him through those things. And so you got to average that out over the whole process just to do business. And I can tell you, there ain't none of, now I don't believe there's going to be one of us in this custom muzzleloader game that's truly going to sit back and say, man, I got rich from building guns. My process has been to help people, and that's just the reality of it. I can tell you today, I mean, it's helped me with buying some parts and shooting for myself, and maybe subsidize that, but to bring in a big influx of money into my home and shop, that's not the reality. If you figure your time's worth anything. So the reality of what happens is, and I'm sure every builder out there could probably some way step into the same thing, you either put more time, go full time, go all out, jump deep into it, but the reality of it is the price goes up, your liability and your contacts go up, and the end result is, as any of you probably have followed me, my forum posts have went way down. Productive videos that I've released to help people have went way down, because I found that every time I posted something I felt like was needed to be posted, or I posted a new gun that I built or a new range report, the awesome reality of that is you immediately get 10 to 15 phone calls and 6 emails and text messages and Facebook posts wanting answers about that piece of equipment. And that is uplifting, and that is awesome, because people want to know. But every time you post something, it costs you more time. So the reality of it is, most of us I've seen, we just start not posting stuff, not taking videos, not taking pictures, because we're having a hard time just keeping up with what we've got to do right in front of us. And the reality of it is, if you're having me build you a $5,000 muzzleloader, that's the most important thing on your mind and in your life at that moment. Now for the builder, he's got 20 maybe that he's doing like that, and the most important one at that moment is the one that he's building. And when it falls apart, unless you can find a really good person to help you, you no longer have that custom gun built by Arrowhead or Hollis or Levi Reed or myself or Hankins, or I can go on the list. There's maybe 10 I know. I mean, you no longer have that one guy building your one gun and putting his heart into it and building it just like he's building your own. You start getting mass-produced guns from suppliers doing this, that, and farming it out. And that's not what I'm going to do. So, and then in the reality of that is, we have, every one of us know those people in our area. We always laugh in southern Indiana that Friday night before Saturday morning gun opener, it sounds like a war zone, because guys get off at work at 4 o'clock or 4:30, 5 o'clock, and the sun goes down by 6, it's dark, and they're going to get their gun ready for tomorrow morning. So I always laugh, because every deer in the county knows that deer season opens tomorrow, because there's 10,000 shots in the last hour of Friday night. Well, not only does that happen, as a gun builder you'll find, which completely blows my mind, I've delivered many rifles, so I've came to a place in my building that I'm going to have every gun for that build season delivered by September 1st at the latest, if not sooner. And I won't even take on something if I can't deliver it by September 1st, because I want guys to have a month or two to play with their gun. And I don't know how many times in the last few years I've delivered guns to people in June or July, and they will not get shot until maybe the week before their season opens. And then if they have any issues or don't understand something, they're bombarding every builder with calls. While that builder got in this game because he loved the sport of hunting. So I can tell you for this year, late October, November is tough because I'm wanting to be in the woods. I'm wanting to get my stuff ready to go for season. And you've got people that just didn't prepare, that just burn. I mean, they blow your phone up. I can tell you several days that I've probably had 20 phone calls, 8 to 10, 15 emails, and 20 texts to follow up with on a particular day. And it's a day that I'm planning on being in the woods. And so you get home late after an all-day hunt, and you spend hours and hours and hours responding. So I've probably not been right, but this year a lot of times I haven't responded, or I have responded and then maybe several days later, or I send them a message that I'll get back to you later, and I don't like that one bit, but I also got to live and keep my own sanity. So that's just personal, but I think there's several builders could speak to the same thing. And then what's even more impressive to that is that I'm going to say 75% of the requests for build quotes and to want to talk about a new build come in October and December. And I think a lot of it's because guys are out there hunting. They're seeing reports. They're seeing posts on Facebook about people killing game with these smokeless guns or a custom inline. And they think, man, that's cool, and I want to get into that game. And they're sitting around hours in a hunting blind or a shack. And it's a great time for them to send out a post and text. But for a builder, it's the worst time possible because we're trying to finish up what we're doing for the year or help people with guns. And so, I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. But, on top of that, every one of these builders have a life. They have a family. They have things they deal with on a day-to-day basis. They have hardships in life, heartbreaks, terrible things happen to them, and they're not immune. I'm not being picking. They're not immune to those feelings, just as anyone else or every else that's responding to them. So I guess the biggest thing is have patience, be prepared. I'm going to tell you a little something that that I thought happened to me 3 years ago. I thought it was the craziest thing on earth. I was building a little 32 caliber round ball gun, and one of the best barrel makers in the world for a round ball is a company called Rice Barrel, well known for maybe the most accurate round ball barrels made. And I had bought one barrel from the guy and got it in about 3 months. So I called him up one day and I needed to order 2 barrels. And I placed my order, and at the end of the phone call, I asked him, I said, how long do you think it'll be? Oh, I don't know, he told me. So I needed kind of an ideal. So I said, do you think it'll be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, over a year? What do you think? And his answer was, yeah, something like that. And I almost wanted to say, forget it. But I knew the quality of what he built. And I knew I really didn't have a good option, so that's what I'm going to do. And I said, well, okay, just let me know when they're done. And he delivered the barrels, I think, in about 14 months. And I got everything I wanted and then some, and the barrels are spectacular and they shoot out of this world. But over that 14 months of waiting for them, I wasn't the happiest camper in the book. But one thing I didn't do is I didn't call him because he told me straight up he wasn't going to give me a timeline. And I will guarantee you, if you talk to the guy personal when he started building barrels, that was never, ever going to happen to him, and that was not his intention to quote things like that. But if we're not careful, what we're going to find is that we're going to have a onslaught of custom inline muzzleloader builders that either step out of the game, they just physically can't take it mentally and physically, or there's going to be a need to be a huge volume of them get into the game of custom muzzleloaders. And I can tell you that if they're not sold out to the game and to learn and not just think, well, I know enough, I'll just post stupid stuff, we're going to end up getting a lot of guys killed or hurt. And we ain't playing with a normal gun with these smokeless muzzleloaders. It takes a lot of time. I almost wear people out with talking about safety, marking their ramrods, and the issues that can go wrong, and stay focused. So, I don't know. I don't have no answer of what's going to happen, how it goes forward. But fellas, we got some super. You can take me out of the game because I'm just a little guy. I love this sport as a hobby, and I have no intention of changing that. I have a good job. On top of 2020, I'll just add in life, I've worked for a small family-owned natural gas pipeline system for well over 20 years, and then just this probably September, something like that, it had sold to a big corporation. So that's on top of the game. There's a lot of changes that are probably going to come about for that for me too. So we go through a lot of things in life, and we just got to be careful with our mouth, I guess. Being quick to judge somebody and not knowing their situation. I promise you, the guys I know that build custom muzzleloaders, they're sold out to it. They're in it, and they just ain't gonna sleep to finish up a gun for somebody in a timely manner. And I guess for the guy that's looking to have one built, I'm not against anybody being persistent. If I don't respond, please send me another text or email. But also, what I would think would be really helpful for a builder, as it comes to my mind, is I think in 2018 I quoted over 100 guns, and I want to say I built something like 46. And if they didn't have me build the gun, they didn't tell me that that's too much money or I'm not going to do it, or send me some kind of response. So you hang out with all these emails and build quotes, and you don't know, well, am I going to get that or not? You need to honor the price. The timeline's going to go into the dumpster. So, it seems to be a common thing with all the social media and email and text and not phone calls interactions, that many times we get something, we don't respond. And I guess that's a pet peeve for me in personal life and gun. Just give me a response. Say you're nuttier than a coon, and I can't spend that kind of money, or I'm just not interested, thank you. But a response is nice, because I know a lot of guys, I'm sure, you just don't know what you're expecting to do that year. So it's hard to plan. None of us had a perfect business model of doing this. I think all of us, the sport's pretty new, so we're all new in the game and kind of learning what we can do and what we can't handle. So I think enough said on that. I think the big thing is just be slow to talk and listen. Listen to what's going on around you, and be respectful to people's time. So I'm going to end it with that. Just say God bless you. I want to say thanks for the overwhelming response of the love and shared to me through text and emails through my dad's deal, and everybody shoot straight, keep your powder dry, mark your ramrod, be safe, be conscious what you're doing with these muzzleloaders, and just respect the game, the earth around you, and God bless you, and you have a blessed day. Thanks for listening to me. Bye.